here breaking down our last restream video. You have Kansas City heading to Buffalo, Josh Allen being the cover photo, and then the two home teams next week, whether they be the Ravens, 49ers, or some upsets, the two home teams will be eligible for it'll either be Lamar Jackson, Stephon Diggs if it's Bills Texans, or Travis Kelce if it's Texans Chiefs. And then for the NFC, it's probably going to be San Francisco. It's probably going to be Brock Purdy for San Francisco. But if the Packers were to win, it would either be Antoine Winfield Jr. for the Buccaneers, or it would be probably Amon-Ra St. Brown. We could go Aiden Hutchinson too, but we haven't had Amon-Ra on the site all year. Could put Laporta in the discussion as well, really. And the reason you're seeing this is because, all right, now we're on the Bills-Chiefs game. Okay, perfect. So we're finally on the Bills-Chiefs game. After a minute of scrolling down, Mahomes is going to have Donovan Smith, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor. Wanya Moore is still in concussion protocol. You do have Sky Moore. He did practice, but he was not cleared to play. So Rashee Rice is going to be that number one target, but you're going to have Justin Watson probably is the number two in relief of Moore, with Valdez-Scantling as the number three, and Tony off the bench. You also have Justin Ross and McCole Hardman off the bench as well. You have Travis Kelce as the main tight end, main weapon in this offense. You also have Kelce played well in Week 14 and nearly had the game-winning trick play before Frank Wycheck passed away. But, you know, Kelce, he's had under 50 yards, and then he just got back on a roll against the Dolphins. So really, he's had momentum. So, I mean, you also have Noah Gray in this offense. You have Pacheco. At running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the third string back. Jerick McKinnon will be Michael Perrine's the third string running back, but I expect him to be demoted to the practice squad once McKinnon is cleared to play. And that could happen if the Chiefs make the sixth consecutive AFC championship, and he'd be back by Super Bowl 58 at the latest. The Chiefs will have a fully healthy roster on both sides of the ball if they somehow manage to win the AFC again. Mike Donna and George Karlaftis are the starters. Charles Omenihu and Felix Anudike-Uzomah are the backup edge rushers. Chris Jones and Derek Nottie, the two starting defensive tackles on the Super Bowl 54 and 57 teams, are back, but Derek Nottie's been ruled out this week. So Tershawn Wharton or Neil Farrell Jr. will get the start. Probably Wharton, and I'm guessing Neil Farrell Jr. will be the backup defensive tackle, and Isaiah Buggs will get brought up from the practice squad to be the backup defensive tackle on the Chiefs in certain situations. You have Willie Gay Jr., Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal in the Sam linebacker role, but Leo Chenal's also backup right outside linebacker to 4-2-5. Drew Tranquill's the backup to Nick Bolton. You also have Cam Jones, an undrafted linebacker, who did well enough to show some promise as a backup in Week 18 to Chenal in a 4-3 defense. But Trent McDuffie and Algerius Sneed are the corners. Justin Reed at strong safety. Brian Cook took over for Juan Thornhill. Watson's playing nickel. You have Darius Rush at cornerback. You have Joshua Williams. You have Mike Edwards as the backup strong safety. Jamari Connor is the backup free safety. After Jamar Chase called Brian Cook another guy on injured reserve, he got cleared to play prior to Week 17. And Kansas City's had their best 11 defensive players on the field for 5 games this season now. And in those 5 games, In those 5 games, the Chiefs are 5-0 with the defense giving up 17 points or less in all 5 contests with a fully healthy defense. This is why the injury reports matter. I know the Chiefs are bottom 5 in turnover margin, but they are tops. They are 6th in pass defense, and the defense has played incredible enough to compensate for the offensive miscues. You have Butker at kicker. You have Tommy Townsend at punter. You have Richie James as the returner, the return specialist. The Bills, they've had Allen, Dawkins, McGovern, Morse, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown. That's been their offensive line all year. Gabriel Davis is out once again, so Khalil Shakir will be the number 2. Sherfield will move up from number 4 to slot. Deontay Hardy will be the number 4. There's still a ton of depth. Gabriel Davis missed the wild card. You have Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox at tight end. I mean, you could play 12 personnel. The Bills should play more 12 personnel in the snow because you can run the ball with James Cook. You can confuse the opponent with the pass. Joe Brady, I know he likes to shuffle some of those plays situationally. You have Ty Johnson and Latavius Murray for depth behind Cook. Rosso and Floyd are the starters with Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones. Jordan Phillips will not be activated off IR this week. He was eligible to return, but he will not be activated. He will remain on IR, but could be back for the AFC title if the Bills win. Epineza and Shaq Lawson are the backup defensive ends. You also have Von Miller as a third-string defensive end, which is nuts. I can't believe I'm saying that. Poona Ford and Tim Settle are the backup defensive tackles. Linval Joseph's the third-string defensive tackle. Tyrell Dotson and Terrell Bernard were the starting linebackers last week. Dotson got injured in the wild card game. Dorian Williams came in for an injured Bernard. And the Bills had A.J. Klein and Dorian Williams in the wild card. Cannot believe I forgot to add that to the site, so I'm going to add that now. And then you go to cornerback here. You have Benford out for this game. Rasul Douglas has been cleared, though. Rasul Douglas is coming back, but Benford, who got injured in like the first series against the Chiefs, and then Kaiir Elam came in and did well, balled out against the Steelers. You have Benford, who's the number 2 to Tre'Davious White. Benford missed most of this Steeler game. He's going to miss the divisional round. You have Rasul Douglas as your number 1 corner. Teron Johnson will remain at nickel. Dane Jackson and Elam both had to play. I'm guessing Dane Jackson will get more playing time, despite the fact that Elam had 2 interceptions against the Chiefs. You have Cam Lewis and Saron Neal for depth. But, you know, my guess is Dane's going to be the number 2 corner. I think Elam should be, though, after his game last week against the Steelers. Taylor Rapp is out, so DeMar Hamlin will be the backup safety to Poyer and Hyde. Tyler Bass is the kicker. Deontay Hardy is the kick returner. Sean Hockley is the referee. So, you know, I've got the Bills winning 34-31. And yes, Joey, I have this game going to overtime. Brian Bayless is the Chiefs winning. Lisa has the Bills winning 35-34, but the Chiefs covering. No, wait, Lisa has the Chiefs winning. Never mind. I guess it was Tanya who had the Bills winning 35-34. I know someone on our staff picked the Bills to win and the Chiefs to cover, but you're taking the Bills. Brian and Lisa are in the minority on this, calling the upset. The rest of the staff likes the Bills. I think at this point, Jason's going to pick whoever playing the Chiefs out of spite because as a Bengals fan, he's probably sick of the Chiefs. I can't blame him. I can't blame anyone who wants to pick against the Chiefs because it's the storyline. We've seen the same storyline. It's just like the Patriots every year at the end. Same storyline. It's a great storyline. Don't get me wrong, but there's even more of a lack of variety now than there was during the Brady era. Because at least during the Brady era, you had Peyton once in a while. You had Ben during those 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl runs before Roethlisberger settled down and peaked as a quarterback, where he still played like a top 5 QB after choosing. But during Ben's bachelor years, that's when Ben was at his peak as far as playoff performances, because he settled down and started his family after Super Bowl 45. And same thing with Russell Wilson. After Super Bowl 49, he started dating Ciara. And while I'm sure that's been very rewarding, his quarterback play hasn't been what you were hoping it would be, even though he did show some optimism under Sean Payton. Joey, what are your thoughts on this game before we sign off on Restream?
Yeah, I think the Bills are gonna win this. Right now, Jared Allen's playing out of his mind.
Josh Allen. You said Jared Allen, the former Chief, Jared Allen. Jared Allen's probably like
Josh Allen, sorry. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. The defense is great.
I'm sure Jared Allen could play out of his mind if he decided to unretire and sign with the Chiefs, but I'm sure Bills fans would rather he stay retired. But yeah.
So I think it's the Bills' time. They're going to win this game. I think they're going to make a statement. I'm not sure how long Diggs is going to still be with the Bills after this year. So I think he's going to make one of the statements.
I think Diggs is going to remain with the Bills. I'm more worried about A.J. Brown remaining on the Eagles than Diggs remaining on the Bills at this point. Honestly, I am, because Diggs is like the focal point of that offense. He's going to remain on the Bills. There's no friction between Diggs and Allen. Now, there's friction between the Eagles and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown getting traded and starting to look more and more like a possibility, Joey, because you got Devonta Smith approaching his fifth-year tender after this year. So, that is a possibility. It really is, that the Eagles move A.J. Brown. I think that has a greater...
Traditionally are not good at keeping receivers.
I think A.J. Brown has a better chance of getting moved than Diggs. That's just throwing that out there. I'm not saying it Howie Roseman should do it. I'm just saying I think it has a greater chance of happening. I don't think Diggs gets moved at all.
Yeah, I don't think it happens, but if it does, it's because of his contract. I don't know if they restructured it or not. I heard they were going to, but I don't know if they've done it yet.
My guess is they'll try to restructure Allen, Diggs, and Vaughn again if they can. And the key word is if they can. I haven't really looked at the contract restructurings. But yeah, that will do it for this restream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can like, subscribe, share the videos. And yeah, we've got all the videos